there, welcome to Inquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another Murray's Moments Quickie fountain pen review. Today is a double-fisted Murray's Moments because I have two of Murray's Conway-Stewart fountain pens. I restored a vintage Conway-Stewart 58 recently, and you can see that video by clicking right up here. But although I've drooled over many images of modern Conway-Stewarts, I've never had the wherewithal to be able to actually snag one before, but that's where Murray comes in very handy. And he loaned me not one, but two gorgeous modern Conway-Stewarts. They are, from front to back, the Conway-Stewart Wordsworth and the Conway-Stewart Winston Churchill. Let's leave the big man's pen to last and focus first on the Wordsworth. Of course, it's named after the famous English poet of the Romantic period, William Wordsworth. I admit that William, I wandered lonely as a cloud, Wordsworth, was not my favorite poet in university English lit class.
Boring.
But this pen is just wonderful. And you can see here, it is almost exactly the size of a Pelikan M600. It's slightly smaller than my favorite sized pen, the Pelikan M800, but when it's posted, it is a beautifully balanced and substantial pen. And the crushed ice green and gold acrylic resin is particularly beautiful, with flecks of light green, dark green, amber, and a little bit of black. It has rounded black top and bottom finials, a fairly stiff Conway-Stewart gold-plated clip with the CS Conway-Stewart logo on the top, two gold cap bands, and the bottom lip of the cap is black acrylic. It unscrews with one turn to reveal the number 6 size 18 karat gold fine nib and black tapering section. The nib has the Conway-Stewart logo, Conway-Stewart 18 CT gold, and an F for fine deeply engraved. It is a cartridge converter fountain pen that takes standard international cartridges. Let me read about this pen from the Conway-Stewart website. Indulge in the luxurious and timeless elegance of the Conway-Stewart Wordsworth Classic Green fountain pen, a mid-size writing instrument that's perfect for everyday use. With its tapering barrel and rounded cap, this pen exudes a warm, rich, and luxurious charm enhanced by the solid gold bands and the traditionally styled Conway-Stewart clip. Named after the famous English Romantic poet William Wordsworth, there are only 10 of these classic green pens available, each housed in a stylish black leather presentation box that doubles as a pen stand. Choose from fine, medium, or broad 18 karat gold flag nibs and experience the joy of writing with this classic beauty. This one has 472 of 024, which says to me this is number 24 of 472 pieces. The website says this pen is from 2014, and this one is slightly different than the one pictured, as this one has black finials and a black section. Now let's look at the Winston Churchill.
But nobody ever said a bad word about Winston Churchill, did they? No, win was winning!
The Churchill model is the flagship of the Conway-Stewart line and has been for decades. This one is called the Conway-Stewart Churchill in bracket green. There are many different versions of the Churchill. I've had my eye on the Churchill in Bordeaux for years.
In this rotten painting, rotten! There was a painter. He could paint an entire apartment in one afternoon, 2 coats!
Of course, Sir Winston Churchill was one of the most significant figures of the 20th century and was a British statesman, soldier, and writer who was twice Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1940 to 1945 during the Second World War and from 1951 to 1955. My junior high school was named for Lady Spencer Churchill, his wife, and I went to Sir Winston Churchill High School. Winston Churchill used Conway-Stewart fountain pens during his lifetime. Afterwards, not so much. And this is a big pen in homage to a big man. Here it is next to my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande in Jonathan Brooks acrylic. They're about the same size. It has a large black top finial and tapering end finial. The cracked ice turned acrylic is in a beautiful green, silver, and black. The gold-plated ball clip is in a vintage style, and the gold cap ring is solid gold, not plated, and has a hallmark on the back which indicates it's 9-karat gold. The cap unscrews with one turn to reveal the long tapering black section with 2 gold rings and the number 8 size Yovo 18-karat gold broad nib. The nib has the Conway-Stewart logo and Conway-Stewart lightly etched, and 18K 750 for the gold content and B for broad stamped into it. It is a cartridge converter pen that takes standard international cartridges. This pen retails for about $670 US. Let me read about this pen from the Conway-Stewart website. Inspired by the great British statesman who used Conway-Stewart pens during the war years, the Conway-Stewart Churchill Bracket Green is in every way an impressive fountain pen, and not least because of its size. The term bracket refers to the bracketing of the green marbled acrylic between the black tassies on the top of the cap and the black barrel end section, giving the pen a vintage look. This is one of the classic Conway-Stewart pens and was for many years the top selling color of the brand. No one knows why. Is it because of the British racing green or the Formula One cars of yesteryear, driven by such famous drivers as Mike Hawthorne or Sterling Moss? Or is it simply a great color combination of marbled green, blacks, and complemented by solid 9-karat gold rings? By the way, the wide solid gold cap ring is stamped with English hallmarks as proof of its quality and breeding. Now let's write with these pens. And let's start with the Conway-Stewart Wordsworth. This is a 2014 Conway-Stewart Wordsworth. And it has a number 6 size, 18-karat gold, fine nib. And the ink is Iroshizuku Kujaku. It's very wet, and I was surprised this was a fine nib because Murray likes broad nibs mostly, but this is a very flexible nib as well. Look at the line variation you can get out of this nib. I'm not pushing it too far because this doesn't belong to me, but that is gorgeous, and it is smooth and wet. Let's do a Wordsworth quote. And then the Churchill. Conway-Stewart Churchill. And this one has a number 8 size, 18-karat broad Yovo nib. And the ink is the same. It is Iroshizuku Kujaku. And this is a very, very wet pen. Very, very smooth. But you might be able to hear that nib sings. Now again, this isn't my pen, so I'm not going to touch it, but there's ways of polishing that singing out. It just happens to be the way the nib is dragging on the page and the tines are vibrating or squeaking on the page. So you can polish that out fairly easily. And let's have some Churchill quotes. And one of my favorite Churchill quotes. And these are 2 gorgeous fountain pens. They are very different, but I love them both. Thanks go out to Murray for providing them for review. And there you have it. Thanks for watching.
I made this.